Kulumbai, Zohar, Namaste, Salam. I'm Kirat and I'm the co-founder of Zankla Studio. About Zankla Studio is an initiative foundation where we are trying to work with communities to tell stories about their folklore, about their history, where they come from, about their heritage, and this is very important. Where Zankla as a brand, we would like to, represent these rich traditions and the stories that comes from a very diverse region. Inspiration behind the heritage soft toys is basically when I was a kid, even I was looking for soft toys, and obviously I couldn't find anything like that as such that represent our community, and that's where I thought maybe this is a platform where I can create an engaging learning tool that is soft toys, and those soft toys can be very important in terms of developing these children's mindset, in terms of how they kind of figure out, okay, this is the story about us, and that's the way where we are building it. And I think it's very important where the heritage part, and that's how we are inspired to make these soft toys. In cooperation, I think it's mostly like we'll talk with the local experts, and we'll talk about with the storytellers, and with the artisans, how also they can make these toys into a toy that could tell the folklore characters, and I think it's that's how we dig the stories from historically, mythically. It's a very intensive process where we have to be mindful while representing these cultures, and we also ask a lot of storytellers, encourage them to come and join with us in this curation project, and so a lot of characters are there. I can give example like the Gaudang Rani, which is more like a fictional character, but we are trying to see how people used to function in olden times, during the king era time. That is one. And say for example mythological character, there's this toy that is called Lucky Toy that comes from from our folk tales that I heard from my grandmother. So I think that is also very important, where we are trying to recreate those mythical characters and tell the stories from our folk tales. And so we are also trying to do some toys where we are saying toys for a purpose. So we maybe have a bigger impact. We are already focusing on the historical, mythical, and the folklore characters. Maybe some characters that from our day-to-day life that inspire us. So there is called this character that's called Bodo. It's like Bodo warrior. He doesn't have any superpower like any Hulk, Spider-Man, but only his superpower is he believes in himself, and he believes that he can do it. And any activity he does it with a passion that that makes him the superhero. The way he functions in his life. First, I would like to talk about the ethical manufacturing. Right now, we are doing everything handcrafted. Obviously, we'll be using stitching machines and needles, but the people who is working behind those machines are human beings, and they are putting their passion, effort, and their dedication. And while they're putting all those energy, we want them to be with true hearted. That's where the the entire ethical manufacturing comes in. Say for example, we have something called Fun Saturday, where the artisans can break from the day-to-day routine and can create something on their own, which they are inspired, and we are sustainable in the terms we are eco-friendly in the sense we are using a lot of the local fabrics. There are a few fillings and all that fiber. We want to replace it in future when we get funded and we can do lot of R&D. But right now 80% of is eco-friendly, and 20% here and there you can say somewhere maybe the thread is I don't know where they come from. So we want to see that also. We want to control that also. That it comes from very even for a dye, how the threads are dyed. Those controls we doesn't have. We are a very small entity. So soft toy, there are a lot of studies. They say that soft toy is good for mental health, and the way it's squeezy, and how the soft, you can hug it and you can give you companion during your hard times. So it's like any other buddy or your favorite character, then you can go every day at night and hug and sleep. So that kind of concept is always there with the soft toys, and we wanted to add more meaning with it, which is like toys with a purpose. And that's where we try to tell and create stories that comes from the community, and in a way we represent the community in a larger scale, and which will minimize racial discrimination and more representation of them. Yeah, so that the people in the world, they know about this community. Okay, they exist. Like I said, the team is very important, because they are the one who creates these toys, and so they come from the weavers, the raw material provider to us, where we acquire the raw materials. Those are also very important. And so in short, if I say the process, we follow a design process where we will choose the story, the character, and we will see the possibilities of design, how we can design it. We'll draw, sketch out, we'll have a meetings, and then the actual choosing of fabrics and the prototyping stage, where we will do the prototyping until we find the right shape, form. So the prototyping goes to 6, 7, 8 times prototyping, and more than that, until and unless we find the right product. Yes, definitely. Every toy we make comes with a unique story. Say, for example, just a simple butterfly. This butterflies, right? The butterflies, those are behind me also. Those butterflies, maybe just butterflies that used by local fabric, but then they also represents the airy silk, the silk, what do you say, the chains, how from worm it becomes butterfly. Sorry. So that's how it's all connected. And we have Zankla, who was a warrior and who fought with British, he died, he was martyred. There's this Thengpakri who also fought with British, and she was a woman and that era, to fight like a mighty colonizer. So I think it's really what is a beautiful story, inspiring story to get to know about this character. Because normally when we say freedom fighters, people only know, okay, this are there, but there are a lot of people through which you can also know the character and the community itself. So like I said, the story is very important, and the factuals, like who these people are and where does they come from, what is their culture, customs. We would like to try to bring all those small aspects in our story building with our toy making. So, and we also want to work with different communities. So any people out there who wants to work with us, please ping us. Our contact number is 7099026484, or you can just DM us in WhatsApp, Zankla@studio, Zankla_studio, sorry, and you can just email us or reach us in website www.zanklastudio.com. Any organization who would love to tell their story through the process that we are following, you're most welcome. Just ping us. We are figuring out and we are trying out a lot of ways. We are very, very new in terms of brand, and we are trying to engage in social medias, and even in future we'd like to create animation shorts where we could show more elaborately how the people look over there and how the customs are. Because with soft toys, just a simple one object, and with the stories, with the storybook, with the comic strip, with animation, I think it will show the entire the character world, the toy world, where does it comes from.